In this video, we will review the new capability to model a single beam with beam slab type bridges in OpenBridge modeling. Prior to this enhancement, a minimum of 2 beams were required when defining the beam layout. Now the number of beams can be set to 1 in the beam layout dialog, removing the restriction to have beam L and beam R. This one beam is named as beam 1 by default but can be renamed as desired by the user. The single beam option is applicable to all beam types including steel rolled shapes, built-up sections, tubs, and concrete beams, and can be used when modeling a unit for an extension or widening of an existing bridge. In OpenBridge Modeler, I have the support lines and deck in place. I specified the bridge type as beam slab concrete girders to define precast beams. Next, I will use the beam layout tool to add a single beam to the bridge unit. I start by selecting the start and end limit lines, accept the selection. Before this release, the minimum number of beams that could be specified in the beam layout dialog was 2. At least beam L and beam R were required. But in this release, I can set the number of beams to 1. The minimum 2 beams requirement is removed. And the default name for this one beam is beam 1, but this can be modified by the user. I will change it to beam. Set all spans to default. Spacing reference can be selected as left deck edge or any other option provided in this drop-down list. I will keep left deck edge and set the edge distance. Specify the support line offset at both ends. And hit save to create the beam layout. The name that I assigned to the single beam appears on the beam center line at elevation 0. I will continue with the place beam tool to define the haunch, beam template, and material. And when I'm done, a single beam is generated on the bridge unit. In reports, this beam will appear with the default name beam 1 or its new name defined by the user. It is beam in this case. For this example, I used precast beams, but the single beam option is applicable with steel girders as well, whether they are rolled shapes, built-up sections, or steel tubs. Single beam bridges can also be created using the bridge wizard by specifying the distance to the left deck edge in the beam spacing field.